Okay, just whatever you're doing at the moment, as long as you're not driving, just close your eyes and think of something for me. If I said new homes being built, what would you think of? I would automatically think of the big diggers, you know, the bright yellow ones. I would think of a lot of bricks. I would think of a cement machine mixer thing that they put the bricks on to make the walls. That's what I would think of. Well, a business in Foston specialises in modular homes, which are essentially prefabricated buildings made in a factory and assembled on site. Could this be the future of home building? Well, Jack Tymon's at their factory finding out.
Morning, Donna. Whatever you think about building houses, I want you to think again. Good morning from a huge, sprawling, vast warehouse on Dove Valley Park in Foston. It's a business called TopHat's, and what they do is they build houses here. Now, when you think about building houses, no doubt images of bricks and mortar and brickies on site and labourers on site and grounds workers on site, building that property from scratch on the location where the house is going to end up being built. Well, that isn't the case. These guys here, TopHat, think they have found the future of housing, how they're going to solve the housing crisis and the shortage of brand new housing in our country. And it's called modular housing. Now, let me just set the scene for you. I'm stood at one of the final finishing lines, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 modules of houses, which are about, I dare say, 25 metres wide and about 10 metres long. And these modules make up different components of houses, and we've already got engineers finishing off some of the houses. This one here on my right has already got a bit of a brick exterior. There's no actual bricks there. What I can see is it's almost like a 4mm thickness of brick put on the outside of the shell of the modular home, and that's going to be then popped on the back of a lorry and sent out to any location around the country, and this will become a brand new house. Now, it's not a brand new idea, really, modular home. I remember my grandparents talking about prefab houses after the war, prefabricated houses, and it's actually a little bit, almost dare I say, on an IKEA model, flat pack houses. So they're almost constructed and they're just popped together at the end. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research, and a typical home would take around 6 months to build using traditional methods. That's what I mean by the bricks and the mortar. Well, a typical home could take 6 weeks to finish here. When I just look around the rest of the factory floor, it's an absolute ginormous space. I'm here with steel toe caps on the end of my shoes and a bright yellow high-vis jacket on, and there's just stacks and stacks of materials all the way around, and lots of people here bright and early getting some of the modules built. I can hear drills and saws going off in the background, and we're only at, 7:15 on a Wednesday morning. There's so much to see here, and I think it's really quite exciting that these guys could be offering a new way to build homes in the future of home building. Now, a man who knows a thing or two about houses, Kevin McLeod, he says change is coming to Britain's construction industry. So could this actually be that change? Now, on the most recent series of Grand Designs, he came and visited this factory here in Derbyshire.
For decades, Britain has experienced a series of housing crises. Many have pointed the finger at the construction industry, an industry that's notoriously slow at embracing change. But change is coming. Welcome to the world of volumetric modular construction. This is not a factory making wind turbines or cars. They are building houses here, things which traditionally were constructed from little bits in the middle of a muddy field. And here, it's clean and perfect. And in terms of the engineering of what's going on here, so fantastically accurate.
This factory near Derby can produce more than 2 high-performing modern homes every day. They have plumbing, wiring, kitchens and bathrooms all in place. They're then loaded onto lorries and delivered to sites around the country. But fast, affordable, mass-produced housing to take away is not a new idea.
Kevin McLeod there, finishing Jack's report. I love that idea, to be perfectly honest. We all love the old flat pack furniture, don't we? I mean personally, from that big store. Personally, I can't put it together myself. Absolutely not. But is it the way forward? We'll be catching up with Jack Tymon a little bit later on. He's at a business in Foston which specialises in modular homes, and I didn't realise they had plumbing and electricity and stuff, but they do. So there we go. Let us know your thoughts. Would you buy one? Because obviously it's going to be a lot cheaper, isn't it? A lot cheaper. It is now 14 minutes to 8. In South Derbyshire, there's a business where new homes are being designed and put together in a factory. Yeah, it's a bit of a far cry, isn't it, from the typical construction process, with bricks and mortar being laid from the bottom up. Well, it's called TopHat's, and Jack Tymon has gone to pay them a visit.
Morning, Donna. I'm still here at TopHat's on the factory floor down at Dove Valley Park in Foston. And it is a hub of activity, and there have been bodies here in high-vis jackets and steel toe cap boots. It's about 6 o'clock this morning. No doubt, I think you can hear hammers banging and drills drilling and saws cutting. It's, a hub of activity, and lots of people putting a lot of effort in to make sure that houses will be moving out of this factory and heading to locations all around the country throughout the rest of the day. Now, I'm stood right at the beginning of the house making process alongside Lucy Weaver, who's the Group HR Director for TopHat. Lucy, a very good morning to you. Could you just explain a little bit about where we are in relation to the rest of the factory? We're right at the beginning, aren't we?
We are. Good morning everybody. Yep, we are right at the start of our value stream in the factory. So we are stood in our timber cutting area. This is where the magic starts. This is where our timber comes in, our boards, all our boards and our struts, and effectively this is where we start to cut the wood that starts to go to the beginning of the value stream, where we start to manufacture the walls and our floors.
Now, modular homes and modular houses. There will be some people listening that think a house is made of bricks and mortar and that is the only way that you can build them. And that ain't the case here.
Absolutely not. That's not the only way that houses can be built, and actually what we're doing here is we are building houses of the future. So our homes are made of timber. These are manufactured within an environment, a manufacturing environment, where we can assure quality, where we can make sure that homes are built to precision design, that they are engineered to our very high specifications, our high customer demand and requirements. And actually we ensure that quality right from the start, from the cutting through to the building onto the end of the finishing line as well.
How long does it take to actually build a home?
It actually takes 2 weeks in our factory. So if we think about it, it's an amazing environment. It's indoor, it's warm. The employees that we have, the men and the ladies that join to work with us, they come into our factory. We've got an amazing canteen, and they start right here in multiple areas of the factory. And yes, it takes 2 weeks from the wood to coming off the finishing line.
And are the full, complete houses assembled here? Will you have 2- and 3-storey houses being built here inside the factory, or are they taken elsewhere and popped together like Lego bricks?
Not quite like Lego bricks.
Oh, okay.
So we build modules here, and a module is obviously one unit. So it could be a ground floor, a first floor, a third floor. And you can see them over there. So you can see that the first floors are the one with the flat roofs. And you can see that we've got the second floor where the roofs are. So what would happen? They go into our yard, we deploy them to our sites, and we have a process called zip up. Very technical process. So when they're on the sites, we land the ground floor module, we land the second floor module on top, and then we've got a really skilled team of people that work for us on our sites that would zip up the module. They would obviously ensure that all the utilities are connected, and they would perform any final finishing activities that we would need to in the modules as well.
I mean, Kevin MacLeod, when he was here inside the factory, I've watched the Grand Designs episode, he says that change is coming to the future of housing and building properties and trying to solve the housing crisis that the country is facing. Do you think this is the future?
Absolutely do. So there's a couple of things in that question. One, when Kevin MacLeod and the team were here, that was an amazing day for TopHat's. They were on site a full day. Kevin spent so much time with our Chief Design Officer, Christian Patney, who is also one of the founding members of the business. So they were having some great discussions, very technical discussions as they were walking around the factory. If we think about the UK housing crisis that we've got, the government statistics are that we are 300,000 houses short per year. We are already 1 million homes short at the moment within the UK economy. And if we think about the current problems with any house builder, traditional house builder, having labour availability, having brickies, having plumbers, getting the supply chain through, with everything rising in terms of costs, modular house building, modular home building within factories is absolutely the future. That's what's going to help us with the housing crisis, obviously with the cost of living as well, with skills and obviously opportunities for anybody within the areas where we're operating.
You mentioned the cost of living. Yeah. The cost of houses is being talked quite a lot, especially with mortgage rates increasing. Yeah. If I was to ring up TopHat and say I would like a 2 up, 2 down, 2-bedroom property, how much is it going to cost me?
Well, to be honest on that one, I can't give you a price, and I'll tell you why I can't give you a price, because we actually don't directly sell to the public. So obviously we work with partners, we work with housing associations, we do work with social funds as well. So we do sell houses that are then sold by developers, we do sell houses that are sold into funds that are rented, but we don't actually sell direct.
Over the course of a year, how many houses will be leaving this factory here in Derbyshire?
So we will be sending out around 600 homes this year.
That's, I mean, in comparison to a normal, again, bricks and mortar house, on the average it takes about 6 months to build one of those. You guys are absolutely flying them out the door. Yeah. Donna, an incredibly busy factory, an incredibly exciting morning down here in Foston in South Derbyshire today. I tell you what, if you catch up with me in about half an hour's time, I'm going to walk around the house building process. I've come in right at the start. I'm next to huge big pallets of timber. Well, I want to see what happens where that timber goes next.
It is 14 minutes to 8. A very good morning to you. Now, there's a factory in South Derbyshire where houses are rolling off a production line. The business behind it is called TopHat, and they build single-storey prefab homes, which are then taken by lorries to their final destination and lifted into place using on-site cranes. Well, Jack Tymon has gone to pay the factory a visit.
Morning again, Donna, from the factory floor here at TopHat in Foston. Now, I've had a huge walk around the entire house building process, the modular house building process. I've seen the timber, I've seen the flooring being put together, the walls being put together. Then they've gone vertical, they've been assembled. You can see walls going in, a roof going on top. And I've now moved back round to one of the finishing lines. And I tell you what, let's nip inside. So the doors are on. Big slate grey doors. Let me move around. This is it's a downstairs because we've got the kitchen, we've got the sink. I probably can't turn it on because there's no running water. We've got the cooker, we've got a fridge. Let's have a look in the fridge. The only thing that's missing is a bit of milk and a kettle for a cup of tea. We've got a downstairs bathroom, a huge big patio door out the back. I reckon if I opened that up and it was out and about somewhere across the country, you'd have a big grass lawn and looking out at your neighbours. And it's very exciting this morning. I feel like I'm just enthralled. I feel a little bit like Greg Wallace when he does the inside the factory tours and he gets to see something from start to finish. And I have seen that already this morning, from the wood that's come in to the big, huge doors, the big roll doors that will be flipped up later on today, and houses will move their way out. Let's have another catch up with Lucy Weaver, who's the Group HR Director for TopHat. Lucy, we've just had a wander around the entire factory floor. It's taken us about 15 minutes, but we've gone from slabs of wood to finished houses. It's incredible, isn't it, really?
It's It's an absolutely amazing process. People, when they come to the factory and see what we do and what we produce, are absolutely amazed by it. One of the things that our employees, they're really proud of what we do. They're proud of the building, of the construction, of the manufacturing process, of the quality. But yeah, to see it from the wood, as you've just described, through to now, which is nearly a finished home, just without the cup of tea on the side, it's amazing.
Typical houses, the bricks and mortar that most of us will think about when we think about construction and building houses. I've not seen a single brick or any mortar, actually, for a matter of fact. Are these houses as durable as a regular property that we might see on an estate in Derbyshire?
These houses are as durable. They are very high quality. One of the analogies that our chief exec would use when you're buying one of our houses, when you're living in and using one of our houses, is you wouldn't travel on an aeroplane that has not been built in a factory environment, in a quality environment. You would expect a car to be built in a quality manufacturing process that would come off a production line, and that's exactly where we are with our homes and with the quality and the standards and the variation, the optionality for clients, for customers. These are extremely high quality, they're sustainable, timber-built products, and they are very eco-friendly.
You've mentioned the manufacturing line process and the factory line process. It does remind me of a car factory. We've even got one in Derbyshire. We've got Toyota just down the road, where you'd see doors put on one station, wing mirrors put on another station, it getting spray painted in another section. Does all of your employees have specific tasks on each specific section?
Yes, they do. So each section has a requirement. So as we started at the floor and the wall line, we've got ladies and gents on there that are building walls, that are building floors. We then have people that are roofing, we then have people that are window fitting, and then as we come down to the finishing line, we have several people that are performing trade activities, joinery, plumbing, painting and decorating, tape and jointing. But one of the beauties about an environment like ours is people are not pigeonholed either. So effectively, if people want to expand the skill sets and they want to learn and do other things, then we've got the opportunities for that as well.
We've mentioned already this morning that there is a housing shortage and a housing crisis, some would say, in the UK at the moment. Are you trying to expand how many houses actually go out the door here in Derbyshire?
We are, yes. So we're doing several things to expand, obviously, what we can produce and how we can meet client demand. So the first thing is we are increasing production capacity here at Derby. We're looking to bring in additional shifts. We're looking, obviously, to recruit another 150 people in the next 6 months. The second part of the strategy is we are building a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in Corby, which is about an hour and a half away. If we think about the size of this factory here and how big and wonderful and amazing this is, that's going to be 7 times bigger. So there's a massive, massive opportunity for anybody that joins the business, for anybody that comes and understands the processes, to grow with us as the business grows.
Lucy, I've seen the houses being built this morning. I'm yet to see a finished article. If any of our listeners were driving around the county of Derbyshire, East Staffordshire, would they see any of these houses locally?
We don't have any local projects at the moment. The nearest project is in Rugby. So that we've just done a project for Urban and Civic in Rugby. What we have done recently at TopHat's, we have had some open days. So in early September we coincided with National Manufacturing Day and we did open the factory doors. So we will be looking at doing that again. I would really encourage people, if people are interested, to come and have a look, come and see the environment and the product. We will post information on our website, but we also do recruitment events every Thursday with the drive that we've got. So whilst we don't have any houses currently in a process, in a project, nearest one is Rugby, we hope to be able to continue opening the doors to bring people in and really help understand what we do.
Opening doors have just been mentioned, Donna. Well, I can see doors actually being fitted on this finishing line right here. Whatever you thought you knew about building houses, I tell you what, think again. It is a huge factory here in Foston. There's people scurrying around all the time, and they have been since 6 o'clock this morning. Just a few more metres, this house will need to move along and it will be ready to fly out the doors. I tell you what, I want to get back inside one of these houses and have another real good look around.
Now, if you think of a building site, maybe where they're putting up some new homes, what do you think of? The things that spring to my mind are diggers, the big diggers, yeah. Also springs to mind a lot of bricks and cement mixers and that sort of thing. Well, a business in Foston specialises in modular homes. Essentially, that is a prefabricated building made in a factory and assembled on site. Wow. Could this be the future of home building? Well, Jack Tymon is at the factory finding out.
Well, Donna, I have seen the entire house building process this morning, from where the wood comes into the factory, the Top Hat factory, and it goes all the way through to the big roller doors at the far end, where the modules go out, popped on back of lorries and are sent across the country. Well, I've actually moved away from the factory and we've just come to one of the model homes, one of the prototypes, just to have a look at what it's like and what it'd be like to be finished and to live inside. And it's double storey. We've got a huge big window at the top, a ground floor window looking through into the kitchen, a wonderful big white door. It's only half the house. If I move around to the left hand side, there's big sheets of polythene where the other half of the property would be stuck on, but it does just look like a normal house. I'm still alongside Lucy, who's the Group HR Director for Top Hat. Lucy, this isn't going to be sent out and about around the country for someone to live in. It is here just as a model home on site. If I was at one of your sites, maybe down in Kent or in Rugby, and I was a prospective buyer, how much would this probably set me back?
So it entirely depends on the region of the UK that you're buying in. So we've got developments at the moment down in the southwest. They could be anything up to £500,000.
Oh, okay. But it will inevitably get built faster than a conventional built property.
Absolutely, it will get built faster. It's built in a quality, highly engineered manufacturing facility. It's all done through technology. It's done with great skills through employees. So the end product is just spectacular, as you can see.
Yeah, I can indeed. Donna, I've been inside the factory. I've seen almost all of the 100 workers that are on the shop floor this morning. Well, I've got a sneaking suspicion that a couple of them might be inside the house now. Shall I nip in and see who's there? Let's go open the door. Oh. Honey, I'm home. Morning. I'm alongside Phil, the team leader, and Sinead, who's one of the manufacturing operatives. Phil, I'll come to you first. Inside one of the finished houses, it must be quite exciting for you to see the wood come in and, well, the final product go out the end.
Yeah, to see it coming from nothing to the end product, it's the satisfaction out of it is unreal. Seeing the end product and customers moving in and getting to site, yeah, it's amazing.
You've worked for Top Hat for 4 years. I understand that when you first came into the business, you'd not worked in this sector before. You'd not got any GCSE qualifications. I mean, how's that process been like?
Yeah, had no education, never went to school much. Come to Top Hat, had the support from Top Hat. All the courses and stuff that they've put me through has changed me into a different person. I'm a totally different person to what I was before. What
do you do on a regular day? What's an average day for a team leader working on the shop floor?
There's a lot of challenges. Yeah. Managing the staff, making sure all the work's being done, we're hitting KPIs, the right targets, the right numbers of walls that need to be built on the lines. Yeah, it's very challenging, it's exciting.
Is it physically quite a difficult job? Do you go home at the end of the day? Because, I mean, I've worked on a building site after I finished my A-level qualifications, and it were a tough day at work. I felt it. Do you feel the same after you go home at the end of the day?
I'd say so, yeah. Not every day. Some days are easier than others, depending on what challenge we have on that day. But yeah.
But you've got a beaming smile on your face because you're inside one of the finished products, and I can understand why. Let's have a natter with Sinead, who's one of the manufacturing operatives. She's been here for 3 months. Sinead, good morning. Just talk to me about your past 3 months. What have they been like? Because I understand, again, you'd never worked in the construction industry.
Yeah, they've been amazing, to be fair. I'm really enjoying it. I've got the support from Phil as well. The boys on the line give me a hand and teach me anything that I need to sort of know or get better at and everything. So yeah, it's just developing, really, and yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a lot.
Do you work on a specific point along the line? Do you have the same job every day?
The job's not the same every day. You can be put anywhere along the line, different challenges coming at you. So yeah, every day is different, really.
Do you have a favourite part of the line to be on?
To be honest, no. I enjoy it all. Okay. I enjoy it all. I'm not really fussed where I go. I enjoy every station, to be fair.
Sinead, I've got to ask, the construction industry is quite a male-dominated environment. How do you feel like breaking through those barriers and coming working in the construction industry?
Exciting. Yeah. They're very exciting. I feel like as well with a couple of people, like girls were encouraging more to come up and everything, that it's not sort of a male-dominated industry and that we can do it as well, just as good or even better than some of the boys. So, yeah, no, I'm enjoying it 100%.
Sounds like a good bit of banter on the shop floor. Who can do it best, boys or girls?
Yeah.
What's on the agenda for today? What are you actually doing inside the factory?
So again, same as usual, getting the walls off, make sure we're hitting targets, making sure the quality is right, and send them straight over to the next station to make sure we can get all the modules done.
Well, Sinead, Phil, thank you for talking to me. I will leave you to get back to your stations on the line. Donna, as more houses will be rolling through the factory here at Top Hat, I'm going to stay inside this finished product. I'll open up the fridge that's in here, see if there's any milk. I'll pop the kettle on because, well, you feel just at home, don't you?
I was going to look in there for a beer, actually, as opposed to milk. But well done, Jack. Jack at Top Hat in Foston. I'm quite fascinated by these sorts of houses because is this the answer? Is this the answer to the housing crisis? Is this a cheaper alternative? And like I said, it's got... It's got, I mean, literally as a house, it's got heating and water and everything. So I wasn't quite sure. I was a bit like, what is it? I don't know about you, but I spent quite a lot of my childhood in a prefabricated extra classroom because that's the way it was back in the day. And yeah, I mean, it's the way forward, is it? I'd love to know your thoughts on this, actually. 81333. You can WhatsApp on 08000 321 333 and make sure you start your message with the word Derby.